mention strikers. We have to enter into strikers because this morning I was telling you how Viktor Gyökeres remains an option for Arsenal in this summer transfer window, and today the message coming from those close to Manchester United is that they feel, despite calling on daily basis, despite maintaining all the contacts active for Viktor Gyökeres, they feel that the player is giving priority to Arsenal. Arsenal project, Champions League football, so Viktor Gyökeres is giving priority to Arsenal. My understanding is that Gyökeres didn't say, no, I'm not coming to Man United. So Viktor Gyökeres or his agents didn't inform Man United about rejecting the club. Just giving priority to Arsenal as long as the Arsenal option is available on the table. So what happens? Arsenal are talking with Benjamin Sesko. Arsenal are talking with the agent of Benjamin Sesko. Arsenal are working on a deal with Red Bull Leipzig, still no official bid, but still talking to Red Bull Leipzig, so direct club-to-club contact 2 weeks ago and 1 week ago. Direct contact with the agent of the player, so Arsenal are working on Sesko, but it's still not a done deal with the club or with the agent, and for Benjamin Sesko, also, the situation is still open. Then, Viktor Gyökeres opening his doors to Arsenal. So, Gyökeres and Sesko remain the two main options. Let's see what Arsenal decide to do, but at the moment we can say that Gyökeres is waiting to understand what happens at Arsenal before committing his future with any other club, because there was interest from Saudi, there was this call from Manchester United on daily basis, as I told you, to be informed on the situation of Viktor Gyökeres. So for sure, Man United keep looking for a striker, and Man United remain interested in the Viktor Gyökeres situation, but now they feel the deal is difficult because the player is giving priority to Arsenal. But as of tonight, still not killing the story between Gyökeres and United, just saying that Gyökeres is giving priority to Arsenal. Then we will be following this story, because for sure will be one of the interesting ones to follow in the next days, waiting first of all to understand how this war between the agents of Gyökeres and the Sporting, I've been explaining to you why in the past few videos here on YouTube. But let's see how this war will go, because the agent insists on 65 million euros exit pact for Viktor Gyökeres this summer, while Sporting want more, around 80 million euros for Gyökeres. So the pricing will be an important part of the story to understand if Arsenal will go for Gyökeres or for Benjamin Sesko. And then...
Right, Sesko, been linked with Arsenal. Where are we with this one?
It looks like he's developing this one because Arsenal have held initial talks with RB Leipzig over the signing of Benjamin Sesko. They've been exploring what kind of finances it would take to do a deal. Now, it's understood that Leipzig, even though there was a release clause associated with Sesko, I think there is loosely a release clause, but it's so high that it would have to be negotiated anyway. And I think what Leipzig are doing, as many other clubs will do when they have such a prized asset such as Sesko, is how are we going to value this player? And sometimes they will compare with other players in the market. So,
like you would selling a house, buying a house.
Exactly. So it's our information. Players like Hugo Ekitike and Alexander Isak are maybe players that RB Leipzig are saying, well, if they're worth that much, then Sesko is worth this much. And we think that it's going to take around £80 million to get Sesko. There might be a bit of a negotiation associated with that. And of course, £80 million sounds a lot, but then when you break it down over the course of a contract, it gets broken down into installments. So it is quite manageable, even though the final fee is still quite high. But that's what they will be discussing. Now, Sesko himself, he's pretty relaxed about it all. He's got a great relationship with RB Leipzig. He's not going to rock the boat and try and force a move at this stage. But what we do know is that he's quite attracted to a potential move to Arsenal. He can get Champions League football again next season. RB Leipzig won't have that next season. And it's also thought that he is really flattered that Arsenal have maintained this long-standing interest in him. Because if you go back to January, when you consistently asked me the question, are they going to sign a striker? His name always did come up because they've always looked at him. That said, they are looking at other players as well, and Viktor Gyökeres is another player that Arsenal have been looking at and doing due diligence on.
I just wanted to talk about him. So we've spoken about him with Manchester United. Could Arsenal nip in and nick him?
There have been lots of reports that there's a bit of a split at Arsenal in the sense that Andrea Berta, the new sporting director, may want Gyökeres, whereas Mikel Arteta is leaning more towards Sesko. I haven't seen with my own eyes a great deal of both of the players, but I think they're different types of strikers, and Gyökeres is just a goal machine. I mean, his record at Sporting is incredible, and in every big game, he scores goals.
Right.
Title decider, he scores.
Look at
Cup
these.
final, he scores.
Look at these stats, right? Now, we've been asking, window after window, are Arsenal going to sign a striker? And they've consistently said, we are waiting. We're not going to just buy anybody. We're going to wait for the right person. Look at those stats. Is Benjamin Sesko the right person for Arsenal? Explain.
I mean, look, if you've got to compare the leagues they're playing in as well. Gyökeres, no doubt about it. I mean, that is a phenomenal record. 66 games and 68 goals with 17 assists compared to 64 games, 27 goals and 7 assists for Sesko. However, you've got to look at the age profile as well. And it won't just be black and white stats that Arsenal and other clubs will look at when they're trying to sign a player. So they might have a look at Sesko and think, you know what, we've seen enough for there to be such a high ceiling for this player. Gyökeres, of course, it's clear that he is, as Carve said, is a goal machine, and you might be buying the ready-made, finished article if you were to sign him.
Don't Arsenal need that, though?
But you could also argue he has never played in the Premier League. He's played in the Championship for Coventry, where he was brilliant, and then he's played in the Portuguese league. So Sesko has gone to the Bundesliga, widely renowned as one of European football's top 5 leagues. So they might take that into account as well. But Arsenal might see his ceiling as being a lot higher than maybe Gyökeres, simply because, one, of how he's playing, but also because of his age profile as well.
Yeah, I get that. Is there the possibility, though, Carve, that Arsenal might go for the younger man whose stats are clearly a lot worse than Gyökeres's and end up like Man United did by buying a striker on potential and not being the finished article?
I mean, first of all, I'm not a great fan of stats. I think
our stats man's gutted now.
Glad we put that
one
one
hard
up.
on that.
Glad we put that one up for you to think.
I think one stat that's really important is age. Sesko's obviously 5 years younger, I think, so would have more of a resale value. But you need to look in depth at how Sporting play and how Leipzig play. Sporting are the best team in Portugal. I imagine the way they play, they dominate the ball in a lot of games. They have excellent creative players whose job is simply to create chances for Gyökeres. And Gyökeres is a fantastic finisher, and that's why playing in the best team in Sporting, he's scoring so many goals. Leipzig are not the best team in Germany, and they may not be set up just to create chances for Sesko. His role in that team might be totally different to Gyökeres' role at Sporting. Now, Arsenal have got a very good, large recruitment, data analysis department, and I'm sure they've been watching a lot of these two players as well as lots of other strikers they've been targeting, and they will have been poring over the numbers and the data, analysing it, presenting it to Mikel Arteta and his...
Arsenal transfer news today. Sesko progress as Rodrigo decision made in Gyökeres updates. Man United and Arsenal have both been in the race to sign Sporting CP striker Viktor Gyökeres, but according to Fabrizio Romano, the Swedish forward is now giving priority to a move to the Emirates Stadium. All the latest Arsenal transfer news in one place, including updates on Benjamin Sesko, Rodrigo and Nico Williams. Football transfers can reveal that Arsenal made a breakthrough in the talks with RB Leipzig for striker Benjamin Sesko. Arsenal are expected to place an official bid for the Slovenian early next week after finding common ground with the Bundesliga side on the finances of a potential deal. Leipzig officials were recently in London for a second time to discuss Sesko's future face-to-face, and it is believed that Arsenal's bid for the 22-year-old will be closer to €100 million than his €80 million release clause. As with Martin Zubimendi, Arsenal are prepared to pay more for a priority in order to get more favourable payment terms, with the Sesko installments set to be spread out over a longer period of time. The departure of Gyökeres during the summer transfer window has felt inevitable for a few months now. The former Coventry City striker has enjoyed an impressive stint in Portugal, but a host of clubs from around Europe are now pushing to secure his signature. Arsenal are in the market to sign a new striker after Kai Havertz and Gabriel Jesus suffered injuries last season, which highlighted their lack of depth in attack. Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee have struggled to make an impact at Old Trafford, so signing a new striker could be a major priority for them this summer. According to Romano, speaking on his YouTube channel, Man Utd have been calling about Gyökeres on a daily basis in recent weeks, keeping contacts active, but he's now giving priority to Arsenal over a summer move. Gyökeres' goal record for Sporting speaks for itself, but there could be concerns around whether he can make the step up to the Premier League and continue his fine form. It looks set to be an expensive deal for either Arsenal or United to pull off, and there's no doubt it will be a risk for either side. Arsenal have Champions League football to offer Gyökeres over United, which could be a key reason for his decision to give priority to the Gunners. Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, Reddit, email, share. Arsenal are reportedly preparing to invest a substantial fee in securing a striker during the current transfer window, with moves for either Benjamin Sesko or Viktor Gyökeres said to be nearing completion. With ambitions of taking the final step toward silverware, the Gunners appear focused on making a statement in the market. Mikel Arteta's side has shown consistent improvement over recent seasons, finishing second in the Premier League for 2 consecutive campaigns. Their progress has placed them among the elite, yet the elusive title continues to remain just out of reach. Determined to overcome that final hurdle, the club's strategy appears centered around making high-impact acquisitions this summer. New signings. Their recruitment strategy is expected to focus on quality over quantity. With top targets commanding significant fees, Arsenal are being selective in their approach. Securing a proven goalscorer is viewed as a priority, and the club are seemingly close to reinforcing their attacking options with a marquee name. However, former footballer and pundit Tony Cascarino believes that simply signing a striker will not be enough. As quoted by TalkSport, he stated, "They need a couple of really big signings. People might look at Martin Zubimendi. I think it is way more than that. I think Arsenal need 2 or 3 big ones. I think Sesko is a really good player, but I think they are having to go bigger. That's why I said if anyone could get Isak out of Newcastle, I would rather they try that one."